What's up, family? I know y'all saw that title. Today we making Rotel cheese dip. So of course we need that Rotel. We need some ground beef, some Velveeta cheese, some taco seasoning. I got some onions and bell peppers I've already sliced, and some heavy whipping cream. First thing I'm gonna do is I got some olive oil I put into my cast iron skillet and let it heat up. And I'm gonna take those chopped onions and bell peppers and put them in there and let them start sauteing, caramelizing, and then I'm gonna sit the ground beef right on top of it. All right, so I'm gonna make sure I get all that down in there because I cut those onions up and I want all of them in there. All right. So once we let that sit there, first thing I'm gonna do is grab some onion powder and I'm gonna sprinkle that right on top of these onions and bell pepper just so the flavor can rise once I sit the meat on top. And then I got some garlic, some granulated garlic. I was out of garlic powder, so I used granulated garlic today. Hey, uh, give it a quick stir, let them kind of caramelize a bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and come with that ground beef. That's about a pound of ground beef that I have. All right. And this is not going to be a very large dish. It's going to be a moderate sized dish for about maybe 4 or 5 people. So I'm going to open this ground beef up, set it right on top of the onions and bell peppers while they're sauteing so that that flavor can rise. And we're going to break it up along the way because we want these pieces to be very, very small. We don't want any chunks in our Rotel dip because this dip is going to be good. It's going to be good. All right, so while that meat's sitting there, I'm getting that taco seasoning. We're going to go on ahead. You could use Lori's. You could use any taco seasoning. If you don't have no taco seasoning, you know what you do? Take you some salt, some pepper, some onion powder, garlic powder, and paprika, and put you about a half of a teaspoon of each one, or a teaspoon of each one in there, and then you got the same thing right here. All right, but I just like the flavor of this taco seasoning that comes in the pack. It only costs about $1. So next time you're at the store, grab you 5 or 10 of them. All right, so I'm see what I'm doing. I'm mixing those vegetables, the onions and bell pepper, right on in with the meat, so that they can all saute together. Because all we're doing is browning the meat. We're gonna cook it some more once it gets inside of the nacho cheese Rotel dip. All right, so this is gonna take about 5 to 7 minutes to brown. That's it. All right, so you see the pot next to it, what I'm doing is I'm going to take some olive oil, pour that in there, just a little bit, just enough so that the cheese doesn't stick, and then I'm going to start adding my cheese to there so that once the meat is browned, I can transfer the meat into the pan where the cheese is and let everything start getting together. All right, so I've already chopped up that Velveeta. I got about half of that block right there that's going in. We're going to eventually use the whole block, but we're going to add the rest as we go. So this is going to just kind of soften up until the meat gets in there. All right. Give it a quick little bitty stir. Make sure that cheese isn't sticking to the bottom and that the olive oil has spread, around the pan. All right, now look at that ground beef. It's all browned up. You can't even see the onions and bell peppers in it anymore. Everything is all browned up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this from the stove, drain it, and there it is. That's the drained meat. And go ahead and add it to the cheese. All right, you want to make sure you get all that out of there. All right, because you cooked it, so you want it in your food. All right, so this cheese and this meat is going to come together. All right, you want to give it a mix. Make sure it's all combining so that cheese can melt right on around the meat. All right, now you want to go ahead and add the first can of Rotel. I didn't drain it because I like the juice that comes out of the Rotel. It gives it a nice flavor with these nachos or this nacho cheese. It makes it taste really good. All right, so we're gonna give this a mix. Make sure everything is well combined so it can all cook together. All right, now here we come with the heavy cream. The reason we're adding this is to make it creamy. We could add sour cream, but I didn't use sour cream this time because I didn't want the tang from the sour cream. The heavy cream will just kind of bring the creamy consistency without much flavor from it, if you know what I mean. All right, so I'm adding in some more cheese to it. We want this nice and cheesy. Now you see where we got right there? We got us a nice consistency going over medium-low heat. Nothing sticking. Everything just mixing very, very smoothly. All right, so let's go in with the second can of Rotel, and we're going to use just a little bit of the juice from that one because we got quite a bit of juice from the first one. So we're going to just mainly add the tomatoes. I did go ahead and drain that second one so that, you know, we didn't want too much juice because it'll thin out the sauce. And we want this cheese to be nice and not really thick, but not thin at all. We want it somewhere a little in the middle between thick and thin, all right? So we want this to have a nice thickness to it, but not be super thick, all right? So we add the rest of the cheese, and that's the whole block of Velveeta that was added to this Rotel. And that's what it took to get it to where it needs to be. All right, so we throwing in the last couple pieces, and that's that whole block of Velveeta cheese. And then what we're gonna do is cover it. All right, so it's gonna be covered for about 30 to 40 minutes over low heat and let everything combine, and we're gonna have us some good old Rotel. So here we go. We got the finished product. Look at that Rotel. That's what we're getting ready to do. We're gonna put it right on in there. Rotel sauce right there. Look at it. There it is. You too. You can do it. Make you this Rotel sauce and let me know in the comment section if you like it. Click the like button. Subscribe to us. Show us some love.